Shalom, brothers and sisters. You are now tuned in to TMHC TV. I am your host, Gadaya Yasharala. I am here with the co-host, no other than the D-Red, the blue collar scholar. We have a special guest in the building tonight. And y'all gotta bear with me on this name, but Imam Bashir. If I said it wrong, I apologize. But he just got on me about that. But anyway, we finna move on forward. I'm gonna let him get his name correct, and I don't mean to say the brother name wrong, but this is a powerful brother in the community. We about to have a discussion with the brothers, and we finna do what we do, family. So right now, hit the like button, hit that share button, let the people know we in the building. We about to get it in, and like I say, I apologize on the name again. I'm a country brother, but it's all good. We gonna get it in. Uh, I'm gonna bring in my co-host, D-Red, the blue collar scholar. Let him get it in. We're gonna take it from there. So D-Red, come in and let the people know what it is.
Shit, what it do, baby? It's your boy D Red, aka the Blue Collar Scholar, man. We in here with my boy Gadiah, my ace. You know what I'm saying? My boy to keep it 1,000. And right now we about to get in with the email, the baby face email, the the jam 'em up email. You know what I'm saying? The one that don't eat no green eggs and ham email. The cool one, the flocker one. Email Bashir. So y'all tune in, man. We finna get it in. Introduce yourself, brother E, man.
Peace, family, peace. It's your brother Bashir. Our brothers brought me out very well. I appreciate it. It's the baby face Imam in the building, Bashir. I really want to give a shout out to the Most High. What's this? The Most High of Christ TV? TMHC TV? Anyway,
No, it's the Most High Children TV.
Most High Children TV. I love it. That's real talk. The Most High Children TV. It's a pleasure to be on here to be able to share with the platform with you brothers, as well as share information with the listening audience. So let's get busy on.
All right. I'm pretty sure a lot of the people are wondering, man. You been MIA for a second. I mean, what's been going on, man? I mean,
Yes,
you was a. Let's start there.
yes, sir. Yeah, brother. So a lot of you may or may not know I have been, missing from the public eye, you know, in general for the last, I'll say year or so. And it's a number of reasons for that. One is I had to, really fall back and think about the plan going forward for our people, because I've seen, so many different people have so many different ways of reaching people, so many different ideologies. And inside the conscious community, I've seen that there was a very big disconnect between true Black liberation and, this conscious thing. So what eventually started to happen, that a lot of my elders that was around me, mentors, etc., was giving me advice to, take a step back and let us do work on the back end. And then when we're ready, we'll, hit them hard. And that's coming up in a couple of weeks. So just to give a brief detail of what we got coming up in 2017, I think it's powerful for everyone on the panel, as well as, the listening audience. Is one, we started basically three different factions of our organization, so to speak. One of them, I cannot give details as to the name because our lawyers are still handling the trademarks and, the copyright and all of that stuff. So we're going to keep that, the titles of some of these things quiet, because that's the advice of our attorneys. But nevertheless, we have a powerful platform that will be coming out on social media, which is going to be really revolutionary in itself. It's geared towards, bringing all of the people together and giving them real information, whether it's, business, entrepreneurship, whether it's people in the entertainment industry, how they got there, acting, so on and so forth. So, some fun things there. But when it comes to, the liberation of our people, we have starting the Organization for Black Unity, which is very important. And we got this from actually our beloved brother Malcolm X, who we know that he was taken from us, I guess we will say too early. We'll want to say that, but all things happen for a reason, right? So he started the Organization for African American Unity, and he had got the idea from the Organization of African Unity on a continent. So obviously, he was assassinated before that movement got to get going. And I found that that was a true Black nationalist movement. And I think that that is what we have to get back to. Not that I don't love my brethren in the conscious community, but I believe that but prior to the exception of the conscious community, there was Black nationalism, which meant that we were to liberate our people economically, spiritually, socially, etc. And so, and also make connections around, not just in Africa, but around the world with other Black sovereign nations and political figures, etc. So this is the goal of the Organization for Black Unity that we have established. And it doesn't matter if you are, Hebrew, a Muslim, a Christian, wherever you are, if you feel that our people deserves to be to do for themselves and literally provide for themselves, this will be the organization for you. And we need a lot of the coming of the minds to come together under the Organization for Black Unity. It's not my organization, it is the people's organization. And just to go a little further and keep it not be so long-winded, and we also have the Lions of Allah, the people's organization, which is strictly for that Islamic paradigm. So we made the separation between church and state, so to speak, so the lines can be absolutely clear as to where we stand. So, the last thing, and I'll turn it back to brother, and I appreciate the time to elaborate on what we're doing. January 21st is a very important date. Why is this date important? Because right now, you can go to Brother Bashir or Bashir Abdul Haq on the Facebook and make sure you like and send me the friend requests, etc. Because January 21st, you want to see the Instagram come on. You want to see our works start going, and it's a very special reason why it's January 21st. And I'm gonna hold that secret, as to why. But those that follow my page, and then once they see January 21st and they get the link to my Instagram, not the ones that's on there now, but the new ones. We're gonna have some real surprises for the people that they're gonna enjoy, and motivate the people and get them going, man. So thank you, family. I appreciate it.
So it seems like you done kind of got deep off into the I guess you found your inner, sound like you found your inner Pan-Africanism, so to speak. So what type of books have you been reading to kind of broaden your perspective, even though you still stay hold to the Islamic tradition, but you're seeming to embrace a more Pan-Africanist stance with it? How did that come about?
Well, I just want to make a slight adjustment. I'm not disagreeing totally with you. But one, I've always been a Black nationalist, but it took a while to really understand what that meant. You hear the teachers speaking, such as you watch videos of Malcolm, you watch videos of Dr. John Henrik Clarke, and you read all of these different books from these powerful authors. Even looking at Farrakhan and Reverend Jackson, and what's the other one? Al Sharpton. Looking at all these different personalities, all the way down to Professor James Smalls. So throughout my life, I knew there was a problem with the condition of my people and what we do to ourselves as well as the society. So it wasn't necessarily a book, or it was a spiritual thing inside myself that, but it took me a while to find that path of how do we make it work. Because one thing I knew that our community, for example, was suffering from bad relationships with our women, for one. So I seen that the Black man and woman could not really trust each other, for example. And if the Black family is destabilized, there's no hope for building a successful nation. And so I said to myself that the way that our male-female relationships are, it is not producing, children that will go to and take our, efforts for prosperity, for great education, for great economic base. Your children are supposed to take it to another level. And it seems like our children was going into, myself, including myself, my generation, and the ones that's coming up after me. It was like, I see them degenerating, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we was going backwards, the respect for the elders and the parents wasn't the same, the respect for one another, for peers wasn't the same. So I thought that, and still do believe that, Islam has such great medicine for that. As far as trying to balance out, the pathology that we have accumulated over time. I would say well before the transatlantic slave trade, but that's neither here nor there. But nonetheless, and as far as Pan-Africanness, just want to touch that real quick. I'm not a Pan-Africanist. Now, it's not to say that I have anything bad to say about the motherland. But I don't know. I'm more of a pan-earthling, I think. You know what I'm saying? I believe that to be a manifestation of the Most High is and since I'm a manifestation of God, the entire planet is my territory. And of course, there's no doubt that the motherland is the cream of the crop of the planet. The motherland is that, source of all sources. She's fuels natural resources that feeds the entire, planet. But I'm my mind is like, okay, we have to make connections with our African brothers, but placing our eggs in a basket over there, I think is in one basket. I just don't think that's a good thing for us, because they never came for us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you left us for a long time. And now you're still kind of not coming for us. You're not putting out a call to really, So, I think there's some ties that we have to get together there. But I think I spoke long enough about that. But it's no big disagreement, So, of course, one of the great books that I read years ago that woke me up was The Miseducation of the Negro. That book was so profound. Obviously, Willie Lynch, obviously, the destruction of Black civilization, all of these books, the autobiography of Malcolm X, the compilation of, the stories of Marcus Garvey, the stories of my mother being raised in the so-called North in Philadelphia, and to hear, in the 70s, mid 60s and 70s, that even up north, where a lot of our people say, if you're up north, you'll be okay, but hearing my mother tell stories about how they used to chase her and my uncles home, and the suffering they went through. And then I too, experienced, some white folks personally, doing things like, for example, I didn't understand that my 4th grade teacher was being racist towards me. And some may say, well, you're just being emotional. How would you know? But my mother, she took me out to class because she noticed that this teacher was just being relentless on the Black students, So it was a life experiences that I knew we had to do something for our people. And since a lot of our people do not want to attach themselves to a spiritual or religious system, for many different reasons, I said, well, out of everything that was put out there, who platform I think was the best? And then I looked at, Malcolm's, he had the OAAU, and then he also had the Muslim Mosque Incorporated. So he said that this is for us, and this is for, just the Muslims over there, and we separating it. And so I said, if we make that clear distinction, I think it will be good. But we're going to have to bring the minds together, because we have a lot of work to do, but we definitely have to get our family structure back. And until we do that, we're going to be in bad shape. And with your permission, I just want to add on to that, because it's very important. And this is one of the goals of our organizations this year, is really go after the man and the woman and try to make those ties stronger, real passion and real love and real trust with one another again. The Black man and woman have to get trust again with each other. And if we don't do that, then all of our efforts are just going to be for naught, because if you can't trust and you can't love, then you're going to be lost, and it's going to be hell for you. So we have teachers out there, for example, that maybe I hear them say all the time, he's a man, ain't he? So he's gonna bang that one. He's just doing what a man do. But I said, well, if majority of our women are running our households right now, Black woman is running her household. The man is not there in general. So the more you break her heart and her spirit, the more hell she's gonna give our children, and that means the more hell she's gonna give you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like our women are fragile. Not that they're punctified, but they were made that way. They're made with that emotion. So it's like taking a glass. Yeah, this thing here, and don't worry, this is a hotel. I don't use this, but you got this glass salt shaker. It's glass, but it can break. You know what I'm saying? Very easily. So that's the nature of our woman, and we have broken her, and we have to raise her back up. So, I tell brothers, look, man, we have to make commitments. We have to make covenant and contracts back with our woman. We have to get our woman trusting us again, so we can take our family structure back. Then when she comes with her Black man and raise us up, nobody else can stop our rise. So once we get our family structure back, our household back, I believe that's going to be the catalyst for us getting our due reward and justice.
So what do you think is the first step to accomplishing that goal of because I agree with you in the sense that as a people we got to start back valuing marriage and valuing committed relationships that way, because that is the key to all a nation or community is a collection of families that work together for a common good, so to speak. So without the family unit, it's impossible to build a nation. You know what I mean? So I'm in total agreement with you. You know what I'm saying? You
Yes,
know what I'm
sir.
saying? And I think that in my personal opinion, I think that it starts with the man. The men, we got to get our stuff together, because you can't claim that you want to be the head of the household, but at the same time, you don't know how to lead yourself. You know what I'm saying? So if as a man, if we don't know how to lead ourselves, we can't expect the woman to follow us. You know what I mean? So I think it starts with us, what I'm saying, thinking with our big head, not our little head, so to speak. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
Just cause she fine, if you see the sister don't have a little bit of knowledge of self, that don't mean you take advantage of the sister just cause she got body or she whatever it is you particularly like as far as the physical. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have to be willing to pull a sister to the side, chop it up with her, pull her coat, let her know what it is and what it ain't. You know what I mean? How she should conduct herself, how she should. I mean, and I think too many of us brothers, we ended up, thinking with the wrong head, so to speak. But what made you come to that conclusion that we needed to start with the family, and how do you think we should go about implementing that?
My mother. my mother made me see that we had to fix our family. You know what I'm saying? That's real talk. I mean, amongst the community in itself, looking at what was going on. But, you know, see, my mother was, and I lost her in 2003. Uh, you know, she was a sweet lady, but you know how the Black woman is. She is so adorable, so kind and loving, but she can be so angry at times, you know? And being a single woman, um, and, you know, it's the times where she got married and she still was a single woman, even though she was married, you know, because sometimes you have a guy, but you don't have a man. You know what I'm saying? You have a penis, but you don't have a man. So, you know, um, analyzing, you know, how I was raised. And I noticed that it was a couple of things like my mother did. Um, she wanted to be like my sister and myself. And so as the only boy child, she told me, I don't want no gay punks, you know. So she would be very hard on me, you know, trying to supplement for the lack of the masculine energy. And and then I found that my friends were going through a lot of the same things that I were. And I said, wow, you know, and at the time being a young teenager, I really didn't know, you know, I knew something was going on, but, you know, it really didn't come together until we got knowledge and information and be like, oh, okay, I see what's happening now. You know, so just observing the community really opened my eyes and seeing my peers and what we were going through. And that, you know, we all were saying the same things in our freestyle. Pop wasn't around, so I'm hustling now. Now I got to put them on the ground. Pop the rounds, you know, something like that, you know. Um, like, you know, so we were on the same type of vibe, you know. And I was like, wow, we all kind of got the same. I mean, it changes because we have, you know, different experience, but at the very root, it's about the same, you know. So, and then studying, you know, what's happened with our culture and um, finding out that majority of our women are running single family households and seeing how the Black man and woman interact in the streets. You know, it was just something consciousness. I would say, and I'm trying to stay off of this, my Islamic aspect, even though that is me, because I don't want to flood the people with that. But some things you are going to hear because that's just me. But with me, the Most High, to me, directed me to try to do something and in regards to fixing my family and starting with my family to make that change. So, you know, a lot of people don't know that, man, I went through a lot of stuff just like most of our brothers do. Um, I lived a very quick life. I've been through it all very quick, and it seemed like it was long, mixed up in a lot of crap. But, you know, eventually I came out of it. And when I came out of it, I said, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna go to the women that, you know, I had or dealt with, and I'm gonna apologize to them upon my consciousness. My children, mothers, you know, went back to them and said, you know, and then I married my wife. Like, look, we're gonna make it real. I'm gonna try to, you know, make an amends with all of them, but I want to be with you, and you know, if you will have me, we'll build our family and we'll grow from there. You know, so all praise, you know, due to the Most High for that, because we've been through over 2 decades, man. So that's a shout out for that.
Yes, that is a shout out, bro. That's definitely a shout out. That's a blessing, bro. You know, that's a
Yes,
beautiful
sir.
thing. And you know what I mean? So with your quest to help rebuild a family, are you guys gonna provide? I mean, with 20 decades, with 2 decades, bro, that's you know, that's you guys should have like a counseling thing or something. I know you guys are probably gonna look out for themselves, something like that, because I mean, that's beautiful, man. That's, I mean, you know, so you guys are gonna provide some kind of counseling service or like a premarital counseling or something like that effect.
Oh, yes, sir. This is actually next month. Um, we're releasing our relationship book, and I know a lot of people out there. They, um, you know, we hear these things and they say, "Well, there go another book," or there is another, you know, brother that's trying to, you know, get our money. And I tell the people, I say, this book here on this relationship book is it's my heart. You know, it's also my wife's heart. It's my mother's heart, because I really said we're going to write this and we're going to give it to the people so they really can understand the concept of uniting with your spouse. And what is it going to take to do it? And that's a very good question you asked, brother. How exactly are we going to do it? That's why I said we need you guys to come into the movement, the Organization of Black Unity. Give us your thoughts and insight, because what I would say is read that relationship book. But at the end of the day, I think personally that there is no better relationship, and I know I'll probably get in some trouble with this, but oh well, is no better relationship structure than that which found in the Quran to me. Now you might ask yourself why, and I will just tell you why, and just for a moment. And I'm not trying to, because we so superficial sometimes. I'm not trying to convert anybody. I promise you. I'm not trying to convince you the Quran is for you. I promise you. My job is only to answer the question and relay the message. But I'll give the short story on it. For one, there's a system of dowry. That's the first thing. There's a system of dowry. Is Islam the only dowry system? No, of course not. But I'm just talking about this particular system, right? It has a dowry. So first of all, you and a woman are not in communication or contact with each other without that intermediary party, or wali or guardian, or the father or the big brother, somebody responsible, male figure in your family, right? Mostly it's your father. So there's a rites of passage, so to speak, where you have to engage that father. Now, in our communities now, our fathers are gone. You know what I mean? But so we have to get some mediary there, some type of person that can come in between, knows the woman, but still, have a righteous mind. So you give her this dowry. So what's the dowry? Oh, she can ask for a mountain of gold. But if a brother don't have a mountain of gold, I guess she'll be looking forever and never get married. However, if there's a agreement made where, she wants 15,000 or 10,000, depending on what you guys come up with, you make the agreement. For example, my wife's was 3,000, actually much more than that, but that's what we put down on the paper. But okay, so the next thing is that we're not going to sleep or have any sexual intercourse with the woman until we actually make that marital contract, that agreement that says, okay, not only are we going to cohabitate and be together, but we're going to be a garment for one another, blah, 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 right? And for the women, I think it brings so much protection, because the Islamic law is that the women, not only do she get the dowry, but her home, the male is responsible for paying her rent, food, clothing, and shelter. She does not have to use her money to, buy her husband anything if she don't want to. So it really gives the woman such rights that I think in this day and time, our women will be able to benefit from that in such a way where they'll let that guard down that they have built up, with the help of our European counterparts, of course. So they'll be able to get behind their man, because see, the man, he's now taking care of business. And that doesn't mean, by the way, because I know the sisters do like that part, but with that is other responsibilities as well. But I just wanted to give the typical idea. And as for brothers, I think that the system of our polygamy is profound. I think it fits for this time and day. For example, the brother is able to take on a second wife because he, is the provider, and he is to, make sure that he's protecting, our women in the community. And since we know that we have brothers, if they're not in prison, they're dead. If they're not in prison or dead, they're gay. If they're not in prison, dead or gay, they prison, dead, gay, in the closet, but really not. So there's so many things going on, and then you got the punctified brothers, and then you got the dogs that really ain't gonna do nothing. And then you got the house Negroes that really, don't have a hatred for themselves. So once you really look at it, you only got maybe 2.5 men that's out there willing to do their thing, and Brother Bashir is one of them, and maybe you, brother. Nah. but but yeah, so you know, those are a few things that, you know, I think that would be beneficial for our people, and they could take it and run. You know, how we couch it in the language to make them accept it, you know, that's another thing. But we definitely got some ideas as to working for our family, and we want to have to take that serious. You know, yeah.
Okay, okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. I'm liking that. I'm liking that because, like I said, I'm a big proponent on uh, the marriage being the foundation. Okay, so so have you? So tell us about how did you? Uh, were you born? Were you born into a Islamic family? Or did you convert? And if you converted, when did you convert?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the story is really really pretty cool, I think, because when Spike Lee, I owe Spike Lee a lot of for my looking at Islam. But when Spike Lee made Malcolm X, I was 12 years old. I'll never forget it. It was 1992. Y'all can do the math, but you don't got to do the math. I'm 37 years old now. But I was 12 years old, and watching that movie, it just blew my mind to see, you know, black men, not just Malcolm, but of course he was the center because the story was about him. But I've seen those men come together and be clean, and of course see Malcolm, you know, go from a criminal state into this profound being, you know, a being that did a total, you know, 180, you know, on the lifestyle and his thought process. It just amazed me. And so after that, because I was born in Philadelphia, and my father was in the military. So when I was 12, we moved down to Virginia Beach, in a military town. And in that town, I didn't know where what a mosque was. Um, and you know, I asked questions like, "What's a mosque? What's a Muslim?" I didn't even know what a Muslim was. I knew what Malcolm and them was, but I was like, "Who's a Muslim?" I didn't know nothing, you know. And so a couple of years went by when I was about 16, and I went to the Nation of Islam. Went to the Nation of Islam Mosque in Norfolk, Virginia. I forget what temple that was. And I went in there, 16. I asked my mom to take me. She took me. And I had a bad experience. I ain't gonna talk about that now, but you know, I had a bad experience there. I really don't want to bring up that issue because it might. I'll save that for another day. In the Nation of Islam, you know, mosque, as it pertained with my mother bringing me, and yeah, I hold that. I'm gonna hold that. So pushing the story forward, I fell back from that, and then I went into, you know, I moved back to Philadelphia because I knew the mosque and Muslims was up there. So I was like, I'm going home, back home to, you know, study and figure out, you know, what's life. So I went back to Philly, and I was going to different masjids and, you know, studying with all the different brothers. And then I found the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and I thought that that community was so sublime because when I went to the other masjids, they was telling me about Jesus flying in the sky, you know, coming back on the wings of angels and, you know, demons and goblins. And I didn't connect with that, you know. So the Ahmadiyya Muslim community made me connect with it because when I got there, it was familiar to what I was learning with the Nation of Islam. It was, you know, the European counterparts, philosophers, they are the great devils, they are the great Satans. You know, he's Jesus or whatever didn't fly in the sky and he's not going to fly back. Those, you know, and I'm not doing that now. I'm just answering the question. um, you know, I'm coming totally neutral. Uh, you know, so and then from there, you know, for years I stayed there, and that's where, you know, I learned the Arabic. I learned the training of you know, learning Islam, learning fiqh, learning Islamic jurisprudence, and I studied in their classes for 13 years. Um, and I was promoted to be, you know, second imam, you know, assistant imam, and then I eventually was leading the prayers on a weekly basis in the Bronx, New York chapter of our Muslim community. And yeah, so that was my short story of the Islamic journey.
Wow. Okay. 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 So now tell me. So tell everybody how you ended up running across and meeting the famous Sarnetta. How did you end up meeting Sarnetta and ended up on Sarnetta TV?
Sarnetta TV. Shout out to my brother Sarnetta, in the House of Consciousness. And I'm still House of Consciousness too. I'm HOK. Yeah, I mean, I moved, essentially moved to New York. I mean, I was familiar with that because I was from Philadelphia. My wife from New York. Um, so obviously, we in New York City. Everybody's going to run into Brother Sarnetta. And I was looking for. What actually happened was I went to 125th Street. This was before I was familiar with Sarnetta. But one of my brothers was my brother James. Some of you know him as Yakub, and he called himself now Solar Mind. That used to be one of my best compadres. But he knew Sarnetta. He was telling me about him, and I was looking for some CDs and some black books. So when I got to the city, obviously, it's like go down to Harlem, and you'll be able to go pick up some information. So I went on 125th Street. It's a store a few doors down before you get to Sarnetta, across the street from Sarnetta. And I went up in that store. I bought a couple of CDs, Khalid Muhammad CDs, matter of fact. And I went home, watched that Khalid Muhammad, and that took me to a whole nother level with that. And then I went back to that store, and then I looked across the street. I was like, "Yo, that's Sarnetta." And then we introduced, and then from there, we started building, and we exchanged numbers. And then one day, Lord Abba came, and then Sarnetta called me, and he said, "Brother Bashir, I got a brother that's a Moorish brother, and let's get some conversation started." And yeah, and then that's how it started with Sarnetta, then Lord Abba, So that was pretty cool.
Okay, okay. So tell. We talked a little bit before the show. So let the people know, man, that where you at, man. I mean, because shoot, people might not understand the situation, but let them know where you at.
Oh yes, sir. We in Los Angeles right now. We here. My all praise to the Most High. Our business brought me out here. Um, but yeah, we in LA. I'm loving LA. Everybody keep asking me, brother, you live on the West Coast, you live on the East Coast. I live on both coasts. You know what I'm saying? I live on both coasts. Right now I'm going to be in LA for a while because we're building a lot. My company is restructuring and getting itself on the expansion for California. So we're going to be here for a bit, just working on that alone. But as far as this Black liberation is concerned, and I have to give love because one of my great brothers and mentor is out here, very powerful brother. And so shout out to my brother, D Salam, my brother Garfield, my brother Farouk out here, my brother Yaya, my brother Bistro. Now these are brothers. Kali has shown me so much love, brother, out here. One of my brothers I was talking to him for a couple of years while I was back in New York. And he like, yeah, we gotta get out Cali, man, because it's a lot of gangbanger Muslims out here that rock with you. And you hear people talking, and but until you see, it's a different reality. And when I touched down, as soon as I touched down off the plane, it literally was like it almost blew my ego a little bit, because as soon as I got off the plane, my brother was like, "Brother Bashir," and I was like, "Whoa." We just got off the plane. But anyway, these brothers out here has embraced me, and the networking is unbelievable. And this is why I can't divulge everything at this moment. But what I can tell you is that you see people that if you have a gun, you can use the gun for good or evil. So we have a lot of good celebrity networking, and it's not the networking that is like unresponsible. You understand? Because I'm going to keep it real, and I tell my celebrity counterparts all the time. Well, they already know, and most of them Muslim. But like, I don't care about, you know, a celebrity status. That really, it never meant anything to me, and it doesn't now, because, you know, although, you know, if we just take rappers and singers, just for, you know, the sake of this argument, you know, their voice is very powerful in calling people. You know, hip hop is a very powerful source, because the entire world loves our music, our vibe, our style. This is facts, right? So we do have a weapon here. But however, we know that in that group, they have that power, but they never really embrace the frequency that they could. They never, they allowed the European, the enemy, to come in and, you know, take our culture from us, as he always do. So, you know, so I don't look towards those type of people to liberate us. Just like I don't look towards a historian to liberate the people. Not to that you can't educate or raise up and edify the people, but I've just never seen historically, you know, no disrespect, a Dr. Ben that raised a movement, you know, because that's not their job. Their job is to teach and give information. So the shepherd, it's his job to guard and bring the sheep, the flock together, right? So you have to be a shepherd. And if you look in Kemet, you know, the ones that were, you know, really bringing the people together, and those were the high priests. You know, this is facts. These were people that actually entrenched themselves in some type of spiritual system. They are always the ones that liberated the people. So, you know, I'll be like, maybe one revolutionary person that didn't have some type of spiritual base, and they was indulged in that. That was their thing. Whether it was Elijah Muhammad, he had the Nation of Islam, or it was Malcolm X, he had Nation of Islam, and then so-called Orthodox Islam. You know, Marcus Garvey, although he made a separation, he still was involved in Catholicism, Christianity. You know, so it's always go back to, you know, people that raised the people up was always entrenched in a spiritual system. Just my opinion.
Okay, now I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. So it's a perfect segue into my next question. What do you think? Now I'm gonna state my position, and you know I'm glad you said that. When you look at our long history of I'm talking about in this hemisphere with the European, all of our movements and even most of our rebellions, when you research the over 200 rebellions that we had over here in the Americas, all of them were spearheaded by people who had some type of spiritual system. You know what I mean? They believed in a deity. They believed in a creator. They believed in. Now we can take it back to the continent if folks want to, and you'll find out that almost all you'll never find an atheistic African society. That's just historical fact. But what do you think about this mass movement of people? I have my own personal feeling about these people, but you've interacted with some of them. What do you feel about this mass movement of American blacks that are basically trying to say that there is no God, there is no creator? What do you think about this movement and this trend?
Brother, you're gonna get me in trouble on my trying to separate the church from state. But you know, I think it's the most foolish thing on the planet. And not only is the most foolish thing, I don't take them serious anymore. You know, I've got to the point where I say, okay, I've played with people too long, and a lot of times we stay stuck in a little tiny circle, and we forget that it's a big world out there. You know, like we forget that there's 14 million other black people in America that we can reach. You know, but that do attach to, you know, the Most High. But it's really stupid, and it's an agenda of white supremacy to actually bring that in. And a lot of times, um, our people that have deviated and go to an atheistic, philosophy, you'll find that they are deeply entrenched in European philosophy, meaning that they are deeply entrenched in their educational system. They're deeply entrenched in their word, and they become white people. Period. You know what I'm saying? The Oreo cookie factor, right? And okay, the creator don't exist. And everybody I talk to, I say, like our Kemetic brothers, for example, I say, you're not going, and this is how I do agree and said years ago that it's no way the meta netter has been deciphered. And I'm not trying to bring it up as a whole thing, but and that's my opinion. I'm probably taking it somewhere else, and I really don't want to. But I'm saying, based on what you guys are saying, it's no way it's deciphered, because if you want to tell me on one hand that they had a system where if you die in the afterlife, you got to put your heart on the scale and have to weigh against my eye and the feather, and if it weighs against it, you good, you get this blissful life and you get to be resurrected, blah blah blah, and they put all of these treasures inside the tombs, thinking that they're going to come back and return, and then if your heart did weigh heavy, here is this creature, I forget the name of him, but the crocodile head, you're going to go get gobbled up by him. You know what I'm saying? And then they try to justify the story and try to say, no, well, the story really doesn't mean that. It doesn't make sense. And you look at the papyrus, for example, you say, well, what are you talking about? These people, even if from the old dynasty all the way to the Ptolemy period, for example, so you look at Ptolemy period, you can see the papyrus with Nebuchadnezzar. Now, we know that the European came in and learned from our cultures, our societies, etc. And so they only can deviate so much from the truth. See, this is what we got to understand. In order to tell a great lie, you must have a great truth. You understand? Because nobody's just going to believe you seen a pink elephant walking through the street. You gotta give some other surrounding story, behind that. But nonetheless, to bring this point to a head, you look at the stories of the people and you say, hey, when you are a high priest and you are a shepherd of the flock, you're able to see certain things. And then you can see the manifestation of the Most High, just as Christians, just as Muslims, just as, whatever, Buddhists, Zoroastrians, whatever system is on the planet, you're going to see a commonality in those systems. You may see a little difference of expression, but they all going to have that common root that we all come from one source, the Most High. And that's just it, And the crazy, this is one thing too. By not understanding the creator as God consciousness, but our relationship with the creator, we essentially cannot understand the enemy of ourselves. Because if we knew that the creator of the heavens and earth, everything animate as well as inanimate, if we knew that we had that connection to that thing scripturally, meaning that you look in the Bible, you see we was made in the image. We was made with mud. You look in the Quran, for example, it say he was made in an image and the spirit was blown into him. He was made in perfection with the spirit of God. And then all things was made to submit to this creation. Like, this is your story of you being the manifestation of God on this planet. This is facts. You know what I'm saying? So, but then there's an adversary to that. There's an adversary to that. So if you are the manifestation of God, the creator, the adversary to that has to be your enemy. And God is the winner, or the manifestation of God is the strongest out of the two. So we'll smash them like little peasant ants if we only knew that you truly are the manifestation God and understand that connection. But, that's something that some of us going to be blessed with, and some of us going to be, lost in the sauce, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree that I think we are heading down a slippery slope because, and I think I say this and I say this all the time. And I put it on record all the time. That's why you'll never hear them dudes going to step to them so-called white Egyptologists with this Kemet was atheist nonsense, because them white folks will run their ass up out of that goddamn auditorium with that. So that's why you'll never hear them debate them. You'll never see them bring it to them. And the white folks call them pseudo. They say their information is fringe work. They say it's not accepted in academia. They basically diss them and dismiss them, but they're scared to death. And I'm calling all of y'all some punks. Y'all scared to death to go deal with them crackers with this information, because you know them crackers got the records. Them crackers gave you your method, whatever the, if you whether you say it's been deciphered, the crackers gave it to you. If it haven't been deciphered, or what parts of it haven't been deciphered, the parts that have, they gave it to you. So however you make it out to be, you gonna have to deal with them, and y'all scared to death to deal with them. So
And then
uh,
if you look at like your lives, for example, you know, it's a. I want to jump in here real quick. I don't want to stay on this long. Like
go ahead,
for
bro.
example, you'll have, you know, the so-called Egyptology or Kemetic philosophy, for example, talk about Osiris, Isis, and um, Horus. And you know, you'll hear these stories like, oh, he was born on December 25th, and you know, that's just like what Jesus, and you know, look at this commonalities with, you know, this figure Jesus and Horus and Isis and them. This, it's the same thing going on here. And then you be like, okay, the first thing let's do, let's open up the Bible and find out when Jesus was born. You see nothing about December 25th. You see no hint of December 25th. In fact, when you really read it, you see that it actually implies that it's a total different day, time period than that what is have been said to be the birth of Jesus, which was December.
Exactly.
Right. So you say, hold on, how are you guys making connection with something that's not there? And not that the Christians don't say that, they say that, but they can't show you that. So somebody has amalgamated what they thought inside of their teachings, and you know, that's another problem with that world view, you know. But thinking about that in general, I say that our people, majority of our people, attach themselves to Christianity. And I personally believe that we want our people to be exactly what they are in retrospect to their spiritual system. So since majority of our people attach themselves to the Bible and they call themselves Christian, all I'm asking is, can you be a Christian? That's all I want you to do. Because if we implement the things that we say we believe in, then our society will get much better. Our communities and household will get much better. So people that's fighting against that, by the way, are idiots. Because we know for a fact that if the black man and the black woman, hell, and the white man and white woman, if the man and the woman, in particular, we talking about our people, if they stop sliding off on each other. For example, do we think our relationships get a little bit better? I think so. I think that when a girl be like, yo, you always sliding off with this chick, and she's always finding a number in our phone, or she's always, you know, her girl telling her something. I think that if we say, you know what, if I do want another woman, you may not like it, but if I do, I won't have it a secret. I'll actually marry that woman as I married you, and I'll take care of my responsibilities. And, you know, you're going to make sure that I am doing that, etc. So, you know, the Bible says don't fornicate. But you find that everybody wearing a cross in America, majority of them, everybody wearing a cross, everybody that say they love Jesus, what do? They break all the damn laws every day and still go to church every week. And then they say, well, you know, the flesh is weak. All these damn excuses. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, look, you don't covet your neighbor, wife or husband. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are actually rules that's, you know, will actually help us. You know what I mean? And to deny that or try to take people away from that can only be a sign of another damn devil. So we have plenty of black devils as well as we do great cracker devils. You know what I mean? But you know, how we deal with each other as far as stealing is concerned. You know, don't be a thief. Don't be a lie. Don't be lustful. And this is the thing. And we know damn well that our lustful nature be killing us, especially in America. When I went to New York City, I first moved to New York City, which was 2006. They had this, on the train, it was this billboard. I never forgot it. And it was like 50% of African American women have AIDS in New York City. I said, damn, I got to go check this out. And so I did research and I said, wow, it wasn't actually 50%. It was actually more like 53%. And I said, this is crazy how brothers and sisters are literally, let's do it and everything cool, and we dying from it. We're dying from sexual intercourse, but we continue to do it. You know what I mean? All due a lustful nature or a lustful eye. And brothers be like, what are you talking about, man? You a man, ain't you? Yeah, be a civilized man, in particular in a barbaric society. Do you understand? We have to be civilized men and women in a barbaric society. That means that the society that we are in, United States of America, does everything it can to promote the lustful behavior, to promote the greed, to promote, that's what capitalism is. That's what imperialism is. That's what their constitution is. This is what they stand for, death and destruction. So, if our people, a majority of them in this country, attach themselves to Christianity, my message for them is, hear the call of what we're saying, but practice your laws and commandments. That's start there first. If you are a Christian, or get the hell out of the church.
Okay, wow. Okay, so basically you saying if a person is gonna be a Christian or whatever they be, actually be it. You know what I mean? Don't be halfway.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
Okay.
brother.
Okay, no, it's no problem. It's no problem. I'm just trying to make sure everything is clear, so the people can understand. Because I'm kind of with you on it. At this point, most of the people in my community that I build with and I actually do stuff with, most of them is Christians. So my whole thing is, I laugh at the whole notion that you got to be able to decipher Metu Netta or anything, 19 versions of Hebrew for that matter. And I'm an Israelite, but I don't think that that has any bearing on your level of consciousness or what you can contribute to the community and to the people. Or the most of the people I deal with that actually got their boots on the ground, most of them are Christians or they're Muslims. You know what I mean? They're not the so-called incense burning, candle burning. You know what I mean? They're not none of them. You know what I'm saying? They're not none of dashiki wearing. They ain't none of them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we got a false idea what consciousness is, and I always tell people what my grandmama taught me. My grandmama taught me that consciousness is what you do. You know what I'm saying? It's not consciousness is action. It has nothing to do with how many books you read or how deep you think you thinking. You know what I'm saying? But she said if all them books you reading don't got you getting off your ass, making a difference where you lay your head at, then you need to put them books down. You
That's
know what I
true.
mean? And I think that as a people, man, we get caught up in all flash, no substance. We get caught up in the whole notion that uh if a person can speak eloquent, or if a person is fire speaks fiery rhetoric, or whatever the case may be, that makes them. And I think you touched on it, and I thought that was brilliant the way you said it when you was like, just a person is a speaker. That person is a speaker. That person may be a teacher, but that don't make that person a leader. You know what I mean? And too many times we're looking at these people they're just speakers. They're not leaders. The leaders are going to be the people in your community that are actually creating programs, services, stuff to fix practical solutions for everyday problems. That's my motto. You see what I'm saying? And we got to start exalting those type of people to the forefront so we can get their programs implemented throughout America, throughout our respective communities, so we can start seeing the changes that are needed. So, what kind of services, since you, let's segue into that, what kind of services are you going to be providing with your organization?
Well, we and I appreciate it, but the organization is we. You may see me as an organizer trying to put it together, but it's for the people to run it. I want them to elect their leadership, their president, their vice president, their treasurers, election process. But it's the same thing, brother, that we all hope for. The land, we want to get land, we want to build a community, etc., etc. We want to provide, we always provide services for anything our brothers or sisters need. Like, what does my brother or sister need, that we can help our brother or sister. So obviously school programs and all of that. But the thing that I think we have to do first before all of that, not saying that, we don't feed the people, and all that good stuff. But we're going to have to get the minds of our people back first. And when I say that, I mean, we have to get them ready to be serious about the movement. So the first thing service we're offering is when we come out, like I said, January 21st, a lot of people are going to start, that's going to be the beginning of seeing the explosion of what we got for the people. Well, our thing is to say, listen, there's going to be a line drawn in the sand. The people that really want to be intelligent, diplomatic, responsible with our liberation, meaning that we're not going to talk about it, but we're actually going to do it, regardless of our, religious philosophy, like I said, ideology. If we really want better for our community, we're going to have to separate. What I mean by separation, not segregation, separation. What I mean is that we have to literally make a separation between ourselves and the enemy. Now, in this case, I'm talking about the great enemy, and I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, but the greatest devil on the planet can be found amongst our European counterparts. Sorry, my mentor don't want me to be saying that right now, but I got to. I'm probably going to get in trouble after the show, but because we try to move a little bit more systematic, but that's just keeping it real. I can feel them about to call me now, but we want to really say we want to make that separation happen, meaning that from the culture standpoint, we have to get it really in our mind and mean it that I don't want to be embedded into the philosophy and the culture of the nation. And that doesn't mean you have to be disrespectful. That doesn't mean you have to be rude. We should always move with knowledge, wisdom, and integrity and morality. And that don't mean you're a punk, because when you move like that, things is clear. The water is clear. It's not dirty. That we're trying to move, with integrity. We're trying to move to be moral. We're not superficial and, just want to talk about white folks in a bad manner. We just know what happened, and we are the group that says we deserve to have our own for ourselves. So we're going to have to make a separation. The majority of the people are going to want to stay with integration. That's just fact. So then we also going to have to make a lot of separations. We're going to have to separate from those people that want to stay or want to stay integrated, because the integrated mind is actually the helper and the mind of the enemy at work. So those are self-refueling Negro minds that will only come out once that small group core people really stand up and really take advantage of their human rights, their God-given rights, which is to be sovereign on this land and have control over themselves and their people. Now, one of the crazy things that I want people to really understand is that, which helped me fall back too, because I'm a serious brother about this work. I really am. And when we build, we don't want no punctified chumps in our circle. Because brothers, and I'm not talking about thug life, you gotta have your chest up. See, the more the chest is up, the more I know you really not a G. You just young, and your testosterone rolling, so you might make a mistake and hurt somebody and then be sorry about it, the next day or 2 years down the road. my mind is like, we're going to move with precision, and we're going to use the best examples that we had before us, and we're going to implement those things because we know they work. But if you look at what I don't want to happen, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to get on our brothers, because Black people, we've been punctified for too long. We've been willing to kill our own first and foremost for too long, but not willing to raise a hand towards the enemy. And only a few people has ever had that courage, and it's been like that for a very long time. But if you look at like Dr. York, this is one thing I give Dr. York credit for, was getting that land. Land that was very, very critical. And so you had thousands of people come to this land. They had security, they had guns, this is our land. But then when the enemy came, they didn't even pop one shot with the guns for security. They let the enemy come in, throw the women and children down. They allowed them to take the land, take the property, even though, from what I know, the property was supposed to have been deeded to the community. That could be a lie too. But, they allowed them to take the land. So I want to move in a way where we have people that says, there's no question that we're moving with integrity. There's no question that we're moving with morality. We're not going to separate our children, by the way, and put the kids separate than the parents. Like, that's some weirdo stuff in the first place. But we want a community where we know we're living in peace. We know we're living in harmony. We know we're not disrespecting America and her politics and her politics. We know we're being stand-up people, human beings. But if they come in our land, damn it, they can never take our land. Not without bloodshed. If we are living righteously. If we are doing the work of Satan, if we're doing the work of the great enemy, then we deserve it to be destroyed and shut down and no blood be shed. But if we know we are really trying to do this for our family, we're trying to raise people that really is going to take it serious and be willing to literally die for the land. So whatever we build, only want soldiers around us, meaning that you're smart, we're intelligent, we're using wisdom, we're clean people, we speak with a good tone, we treat people different, we want to be diplomatic with America as well as other nations on the planet. We want to express, and this is not begging, this is putting the world on notice as to what our movements are, and try to be a diplomatic in power and put in that work. So sorry, I'm a little long-winded on that.
Nah, bro, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. Now I'm gonna read something to you, and I'm gonna say I wanted to know what you think, and because I thought it was pretty powerful. So give me a second. I'm gonna have to find it. Gadai, you can chime in while I find this right quick, because I want Imam's perspective on this.
Um, I just think the brother dropped a lot of powerful information right now. For his, I like his, I like the unity more so what he's speaking about. Now I would ask a question, with all the different ideology and all the different things that we do have in play. How do you think we can move in harmony? With that being said, like I know I'm not trying to be like beating the dead horse, but like, how do we rise above what we believe and work as a people, according to who we are as a people? Like, how do we rise above our different ideology and actually deal with the system or all the things that's taking us away from actually building as a nation? How do we deal with that? Like, what are your suggestions on that?
Yes, sir. The quickest story is get with your organization, the Organization for Black Unity. And I mean, we all have to, and I know we have some people we're just not going to be able to unite with. That's just a fact. some people's going to find an excuse for everything. So if we want to do something, we'll do it. If we don't want to do it, we'll find an excuse. You know what I'm saying? So we might have Morris brothers be like, oh, you use the word black, you know, then you'd be like, okay, let's find a word that can fit everybody. And then you'd be like, oh, let's do this over here so we can, you know. And it's like, listen, by the time we do that, we are another generation lost and with another one going out at the same time, you know. So it is about what the original teachings was, I believe, was black nationalism. Meaning come together. It doesn't matter if you're my Israelite brother. We know we have a task, we have an agenda. You know, if you're a Muslim, if you are, regardless if you are, if you think that black people have suffered in this nation and around the world, and our resources have been taken from us, we have been under the educational and mind control over, you know, as it pertains with our enemy, then we need to make that change, you know. So I think just decide. That's what I would say. Decide to really stand on your square, to unite with people that's really trying to do it, and come back to black nationalism. I will say this, a lot of people gonna get mad at me, but the conscious community actually has nothing to do with black nationalism. It may appear that it does, but it doesn't. It took on a whole nother name, in fact, you know, consciousness, which is so broad. You know, it's like, well, what is conscious? Be aware. But what are you aware of? Then you find out that the Nawapians, they're aware that Dr. York is the master teacher from Planet Risk. And then you like, oh, this guy, he's aware that, okay, he's a more, and this guy, he's just a complete idiot, but he's not aware of that. So I don't understand the problem. But, you know, so, brother, I'll tell the people, just decide. Yes, sir. Just decide to do something and stand up.
All right, now check this out. I'm gonna read this because I read this periodically because I be wanting people to really grasp this, and I be wanting this to sink into people's head. It was an interview with the PF Chang guy, and so I'm gonna read this to you, and I want to know what you think because a lot of people try to gloss over it when I read it. But I said I'm gonna start when I have esteemed guests, but I'm gonna start get their take on this. And so I want you to tell me what you think after I finish reading this. It said the interview
Yes,
said,
sir.
"Can you address their concerns, Mr. Chang?" Mr. Chang said, "The concerns of black people, yes, I can. The fact is that we all live under the system of white supremacy. We Asians look back at our long history of conflict with the European. We observe their strategies and develop our own in response and in kind. There is no need for loud mass movements on our part because we intend to overtake them in time through action and personal sacrifice." The interview said, and the black man, Mr. Chang says, he does not count into our situation. He is simply here. We do not hate the black man. We just love the Asian man most. Real love, not cliche love. We want the Asian man to be happy, so we employ him. Then he goes on to say, we eat together. We spend time with each other. We want his kids to be educated, so we invest in our own schools that offer our children the technical abilities to change the world's power structure in our favor. We want to see the Asian man happy. I mean, they see the Asian man safe, so we purchase and organize our own communities. We want him to remain Asian, so we reduce outside influence of other ideologies and cultures. While he, the black man, fought to sniff behind the white man, the black man has had the opportunity and every right in the world to do the same. But he chooses to indict people like me for not hiring him over my own brothers. For me, this would be foolish and would not be Asian love. In contrast, the black man will fight for the right to be up under everyone else other than other black people whom he should feel the most love for. If our indifference to their situation makes us racist, then what would you call the black man's indifference to his own situation? A race traitor.
Mm, mm, mm. I think that's heavy. It's a
So
echo too.
uh, I just wanted to know that, like, what do you think about that? What do you think about that whole quote?
I think it was right and exact. I mean, obviously there will be a little points of contention, but I mean, our people are such it's a gift and a curse. We are such a loving people. You know, we are willing, and a mother and a father should be very loving and merciful to their children. And there's no question that the Black man and woman is the originators of our tribes, are the originators of the entire population of humans on the planet, whether they are a subspecies human, human nonetheless. That's what I feel. You know, I know it could be some debate about that, but and that's in the nature of what we were made in. Like we hear these words, melanin, melanin all the time, or carbon, carbon, and you know, and like I said, I'm not trying to convert anyone, but when you look in the Quran for a moment, and it just has some very good word in here, where it says the sow, hummer, you know, the dry ringing clay, that hummer, that black mud, you know, that black substance. And then you look into science and you find that amino acids and proteins can be found in clays that have been, you know, that amino acids and proteins have been amalgamated, and it creates this dark, rich, muddish type clay that actually produce. I'm sorry, say it again.
No, I'm talking. Yeah, I'm glad you broke that. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you brought that the hummus up, because that's also in the Hebrew, and it's talking about the black dark topsoil. You know what I'm saying? That's full of all the nutrients. So yeah, brother, I know exactly where you're going with this. But go ahead, brother. I just want to let you know I'm with you.
You already know. And see that, and that's our family. You know what I mean? My Israelite family. So yes, so you know, science backs that up. You know that life essentially comes from these amino acids, these proteins from the clay, and you know, it eventually came out into life. And then, you know, I don't want to get into that whole thing because obviously there's some points of contention on, you know, that evolutionary theory to try to push us, but we know that that source is that blackness, that mud. You know, so the point that I was going to make, the more carbon that you have in your body, the more you will go to sleep, and actually the more kind you are. You know, it's actually that melatonin levels you out. You know, but at the same time, we have that warrior spirit as well. Don't get it twisted. So yes, we have been loving the world, and quite frankly, I know a lot of people may get me for this, but it is what it is. I think that we are running our course, and that course right now is the course of, okay, you had civilization, you educated the world, you know, came to that motherland for learning, training, etc. And then you guys split off and you went to do your thing. And eventually there was a decline in the African or black or, you know, melanated people paradigm as far as rulership is concerned. We had a downfall, and we allowed the European to come in and take control and, you know, colonize, you know, the entire world. Um, so I think that, you know, it's part of our suffering. You know what I mean? It's part of systematic suffering when you become cowardice in your action and allow the onslaught of attacks to be made on you. And you know, it's like it's what happened to us too. Is like, you know, you have these Europeans that, you know, come on the land and they start manipulating. You know, we know the end result. But here's something that we really don't. A lot of us, I think, we forget or really don't consider too much, and that is that we had options to just decide. We had options to decide if we're going to submit to this rule or if we're not going to submit to the rule. So the masses, whether it's on the continent of Africa, whether it's the United States of, or what is known today as United States of America, but all over the world decided somewhere that we are going to submit to these Europeans running the planet. And so that submission is there. You know what I mean? It's written. So to get out of that, it's going to take a lot of perseverance. It's going to take a lot of love, and it's going to take a lot of willingness to die. And if you look at us now, and I'm sorry, I hope my mentor don't get at me, but whatever. I've been in trouble before. But I know I've been introduced to a lot of heavy gangbangers, man. People that been in the game. I'm talking about not that there's something wrong with our young G's, those little gangsters, but I'm talking about OGs, been in the game for 30, 40 years, 20, 25 years. And just listening to them, speak in politics and, speaking to the younger groups, I say, man, they have such a good spirit in them. Like they really do. They're really cool people when you're talking to them. But then some type of politic come in there. And when politics come in, it could turn very nasty quickly. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it's like if we can get them to see that we need you to stop turning the guns on your brother. Like, stop turning the guns on him. Like, if you want to be enemies, cool. But we have a big enemy over here. How about you not fight for a block that you supposed to pay taxes on and those taxes don't go to you? You understand? Or if you live in an apartment, that landlord pays the taxes, through the money that you pay. You don't actually pay the taxes, but they pay the taxes for you because they got your rent. So, what I'm saying is that, we banging. It's funny how the enemy must look at us, be like, huh, he really thinks 23rd Street is his. He really thinks 23rd Street is his, D. That's your street? Nah, it ain't your street. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, so it's like we have to, change the paradigm and really get real, because it's like a brother, unfortunately, and you do kill where you live naturally, but unfortunately, a lot of our brothers, and I'm not just talking about killing by a gun, because there's tons of murders from our people, shooting them. But as far as really killing ourselves, I say 50 times what physically get killed every day in our community. We are killing our babies just by the ignorance alone. We are sending them to an early grave from, and that's one thing I love scripturally that we need to take heed of, is that our people are lost for the lack of knowledge. Very important. How knowledge and wisdom is linked to being the manifestation of God. You know what I'm saying? So we got to know who we are, and we have to get ourselves back to that mindset that not only are we going to be great again as a people, right? But understanding that you was always great. Ain't nothing changed. You put yourself to sleep, but it was in you the whole time to wake up and take your nation. Now, sometimes it's going to hurt bad, and you're going to suffer. Yes, and majority of our people understand we're going to suffer. They understand that. They know if they do this separation thing, my job I may lose my job. Just like Malcolm told us, it's the same thing they say to this very day, 50 plus years after them. Where I'm going to get a better house than this. Where I'm going to go with better opportunities than this. So it's like, until you are ready to make that sacrifice for you and your children, because we're so selfish, because the sacrifice is not for you. The sacrifice is for your children, children's children. If we're not thinking about our children's children at this point, which most of us are not, we're not even thinking about the first child that we bring into the planet, but let alone, 2-3 generations later. So, this is a hard task, to wake the people up, brother. And I hope that everyone here will, take heed, and we can build and really start to, create these strategy sessions where, we can come up together with and implement a plan, not a dictatorship from Brother Bashir, but does not get it twisted. I am the orchestrator as far as putting the foundational structures together, because so many people had opportunities to do it. And I sat back and waited, and so I say, they're not going to do it. So I'll go ahead and we're going to do it with the help of our network. So I know I said a lot.
Nah, brother, you ain't saying a lot, man. It's funny that you talked about that. Cause me and Lord Albert, we've been talking for a long time about doing it. We've been in talks. Me and Brother Tahaka Bay, we've been in talks. So it's cool and kind of refreshing to know that that you was having the same type of thinking that we need to come together beyond a I don't like to say religion because I know Islam is it's a deen, so you know what I mean. But
I don't agree with that.
regardless of our way of life, I guess you could say, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
We can sit back and say, okay, we got to come together. You know what I'm saying for our survival at this particular point. You know, because when people start get to the point where they're killing your kids, that's a declaration of war. You know what I mean? And so it's just good to it's refreshing to hear, brother. Because I mean, again, me and Gadiah, that's why me and the brother linked up because we both, got our boots on the ground with our organizations and things that we're doing in the community. So we're about the solutions. So it's good to hear, brothers. Uh, Even though we might not be communicating like we should, it's some of us brothers out here that's really about the people, really love the people, really try to figure out solutions. You know what I mean? And we need a think tank. I remember listening to Dr. Claude Anderson say when he came down here that we need to start creating think tanks. He said he got the only black think tank in America. You know what I'm saying? White folks got like 300. So
Well,
we need
we're gonna
to.
have number two.
Exactly. Yeah, we working on number two. So we're gonna create us a think tank where we can sit back, strategize, come up with plans. You know what I mean? I can see what Bashir got going on, where he at, and whatever programs and services he got, figure out a way to bring his programs and services here to Houston. Brother Gadiah, he got his organization. Bashir might like what he's doing and want to implement his program, Gadiah's program where he's at. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. That's how we gonna come out of this. You know what I mean? But I agree with Brother Bashir. You're gonna have to be willing to lay down your life for it. You know what I'm saying? If it come down to it. You know what I'm saying? So folks talk about.
And I'm sorry, just real quick. When we say lay down your life, see, people always think that, you got to take a bullet or get stabbed or something. And yes, we're talking about that extent too. But giving your life means, you're giving your time, you're giving, your finance, you're spending, you're spending money, you're spending time, you're putting in effort, you're putting in sweat equity, you know, and on top of that, if physical harm comes, you're willing to, take that hit, and this is how we know how people are hypocritical and, these great devils, because, the one thing Europeans know is our rise is their fall. There's no question about that. They understand this. This is why they want to keep you subjugated. This is why they want to keep us in an inferior disposition, because they know if you rise, then they're afraid that they're going to go back and suffer from the things that they had placed on, our ancestors and us in this very time and day. So, we have to give our life, meaning that to really get this work done, the talk is over. It's more action than talk. You know what I'm saying? And we have to get down and get busy on it and just do it. Just decide to make it happen. And as far as the Organization for Black Unity, one thing I want to get clear is not to say you have an organization, you have an organization, you have an organization, so now these organizations disappear. No, Organization Black Unity is exactly what it is. Bring your organization, bring your leaders first and foremost, which is one thing I'm calling out. And this is going to happen after next week because we're moving strategically, but we're going to be calling the heads of the organization like, listen, this ain't no talk, man. We want you to set up, get on our conference calls with us. We're going to have these private talks, and then we're going to actually meet with these heads, which we tried to implement a few years back. And then I found that people really didn't want this liberation inside the so-called, conscious community. This is why you can see it's in the condition that it is now. So, it's up to us and the rest of our society outside of that little group of, 10,000 or 20,000 or even 50,000, you know, we have tens of millions out there to, you know, to call. So my life is out here, not to be a nuisance or a burden, but you know, I'm sacrificing my life because someone has to do it. I have to do it for my future and my children and my family. So somebody got to make the sacrifice. Is it going to be you, or you going to give it to your child, or you going to wait for your children to do it? So, you know, somebody got to stand up.
Nah, bro. Like I said, brother, I agree. I don't think I can say with you, bro. I agree. You know, too many times that we only live for and think about the here and now. You know, we think about fun and having fun and kicking it and hanging out, and it's sad because that's what make people in the other ethnic groups look at us like we're a joke because they're serious. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing the stuff that they're doing. They're acting the way they're acting, even if they out, kicking it and hanging out. They're more. Those other ethnic groups are like we talked about earlier. They're more likely to be married, so they hanging out and kicking it with their spouse. It just we gotta have to start, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, we're gonna have to start looking at the successful ethnic groups, seeing what they doing, and kind of like what Mr. Chang said, looking at their strategies and developing our own in response and in kind. Because
You know what?
Dr. Francis, let me say this right quick. Dr. Francis Wilson said the most revolutionary act we can do, you know what I'm saying, is keep our black families intact. That's the most revolutionary thing we can do. You know what I'm saying? Is find somebody, be with them, and settle your ass down. Go ahead, bro.
Profound, brother, profound. Um, you know, everyone always talk about nature. You know, nature this, nature that. You gotta look at nature. And you know, that's a very deep conversation, but I'm keeping things as simple as I can. But nature naturally tells us what we need to do. See, naturally, human nature is you know, such like this. If you look at a child, they say it was easy, like taking candy from a baby. What they're talking about is that, you know, a baby is not that strong. You know, you just whoop, you take it from them. But if you really give a baby something and you ever pull it from them, they little arms and fingers try to grip onto it, you know, and they get mad and they start screaming when you take it. So naturally, we don't like things to be taken from us, in particular by force. So nature shows us that. So what is the lesson? The lesson is, okay, I don't want nobody taken from me, with no force like that. So I shouldn't take by force with someone else. Nature also shows us, you know, and it's all subject to timing too. Like you'll have people be like, man, we in America, and then, you know, women shouldn't be covered up because in Africa we were naked. You'd be like, first of all, hold up, the whole damn continent of Africa was not naked. All right, that's one. You know, in fact, it was minorities that were naked. When I mean minority of the population, still African people, but this was centered in tribes. They just wasn't working, you know, walking around with everybody, you know, like America, this melting pot, and everybody just get to intermingle with tribes and tribes. That's stupid. That doesn't make no sense. And then I say, on top of that, you ain't in no damn Africa. Recognize where you are. This is Babylon, baby. This is Sodom and Gomorrah, live and direct, baby. Go read it. You know what I'm saying? The concrete jungle. Yeah, of course, you got places in the South where it's a lot of trees and a lot of lands, but the culture of America is politics. It is all jungle, concrete jungle culture. Means that, yes, it's inside a natural environment, but they put concrete, they put bars, they put slabs inside a natural environment, which turned it artificial. You know what I'm saying? So nature just shows us so much, so many things. So we need to clothe ourselves, our baby. So naturally, we like food, clothing, and shelter. You look at the bird is in the tree. He's over there in his house happily. You look at the bee says, you know what? Come on, queen, let's go find us a nice little spot. You know, it could be a tree, it could be anything. We're going to create a hive. You know, they have their home. So everything on the planet has its natural environment, has its natural home. It knows it has to go get food to provide the necessary nutrition for itself. And it has fur. Unfortunately, I mean, we don't have, you know, as much hair as, you know, a squirrel or the other mammals in many cases. But we know we need clothes, you know. So if we know we need clothing, you know, the black man and woman is got out of our nature, which is to take care of ourselves, because we go consume at all of these other stores. And, you know, even from our babies, our women cannot make a onesies anymore. You know what I'm saying? Not for a little baby who's going to grow out of that onesie in 2 or 3 days or a week or two, literally. You know what I'm saying? So we go spend all this money, wasting money, stuff they'll grow out with instantaneously. They can't even provide a little thin piece of clothing. I don't know how to put what was they called? Diapers, right? Not Pampers, but diapers. You just cut out, you know, fabric and put a diaper on a baby. You know, so and one more thing, our women's turned to Similac, and, you know, these artificial milks, you know, for our children. And it's like, sister, you don't know that your breast is the best for your child, that it has the nutrients to make them healthy, make them strong, give them immunity. You know, you don't understand this. You know, so we have given up nature for artificial beings and an artificial lifestyle. So you get an artificial mind with that, you know. So we got to get the people back to some right thinking, man, and our women back. And it's going to take some time and hard work, but we here, brother. We're doing it now. This is the beginning of the process.
Man, I like that. I like that with the artificial thing. I thought that was live when you brought the artificial thing, because I've been at war with these so-called artificial activists. That's what I'm gonna start calling it, artificial activism. You know what I'm saying? All these cats on YouTube claiming that YouTube is as activism. It's sitting around commentating as activism. Now, there's a place for media in our consciousness. There is a place for media, but, you know, the vast majority of these people are not doing media. You have a few outlets, you know what I mean, that are actually media outlets. That they're just, their job is just reporting. They, you know, they went to Baton Rouge when the whole thing went down. They did their reporting. That's news. So I can respect it. You got some news outlets on the internet. So you know what I mean. So shout out to them. So shout out to my boy O and all them that's doing they just solar. You know what I mean. That went out to Baton Rouge and actually did some reporting. I respect that. But vast majority of these outlets are not necessarily news outlets, and I think that we need to, again, I'm gonna say this again, we need to start making sure that the people such as yourself that actually got programs and services are the main people being heard. So that will be the inspiration and the impetus to make someone else that may be sitting at home, you know, eating a fish sandwich or something. You know what I'm saying? Saying, you know what, man, these brothers out here getting out there doing it. I wonder if I can implement them programs down here where I'm at in North Carolina, just making up something. So that's what we need to do. And man, we ain't gonna hold you up, brother. You know, we've been on here for like an hour and some change. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
sir.
Because you're gonna be. I don't look at it like this is gonna be an ending. This is just gonna be a part one. Because we're gonna bring you on here again, have you, you know, and start bringing you on more often, even if it's just to get something off your chest. Because we're gonna have a show where we call "Get It Off Your Chest." So if somebody done ran you hot, and you ready to, you want to give them the biz, you can always come over here and get it off your chest. So, hey man, hey people, man, this was this. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I want to
No,
add
don't worry.
on before we close out. Um, I saw a brother in the chat room that wanted to come on, so I wanted to make sure it was okay before I send the link out. Do you want to, brother? Do you want to like deal with some of the people in the chat before we bring it? You know,
Yes.
okay. Well, I'm gonna put the link in the chat for the people that want to come in, for the brothers and sisters that would like to come in and maybe add on to what's being said or ask questions. Um, and we can just get it in because, like, the biggest thing here is building. So we trying to build. This is a platform where I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning because I was kind of busy, but like over here, it's about knowledge, family love, and most of all, respect. And we keep those things in perspective. We can really build. So I put the link in the chat. So if you want to come in and you have any questions, feel free to come in and ask questions or make your make a statement or whatever the case may be. We do appreciate the brother for giving us his time and willing to talk to the people. So when you come in, be respectful. Uh, you know, uh, and that's basically it. Just be respectful. So we can keep this as a platform where you know it's about building and not about debating or animosity. uh, so we're gonna give him a little time to come in. Like I say, the link is in the chat. I did see that we have a brother, or I'm not a brother or a sister. I didn't see the name, but go and introduce yourself to the panel. Speak up.
My name is Callisto, and I'm here to expose the one they call Vinnie Mac.
Okay, what just happened there?
He will be exposed. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Who is this? The Saw guy? Saw 4?
No, I'm Callisto. You can't see my picture?
Man,
From
look.
another world?
Yeah, brother, he gotta go.
Yeah.
Then you will be stopped. And you will all see soon enough. The gate will open.
Yeah, he gotta go. Good day. I thought he had something to talk about. You know that ejecting? Yeah. That was weird.
We got him
But
out of here.
yeah.
Who? What is? What the?
Hey, I guess we got our first troll, Godiah. So I guess you know what I'm saying, you ain't. I
We
guess
moving up.
we moving up in the world. I guess we get that George Jefferson on around here. You know what I'm saying?
Alrighty
But now, man, we like to thank our brother Imam Bashir, man. Imam, you got any contact information you want to give out to the people, brother?
Yes, sir. And I just would like to out with with this statement for a second. And we just have to decide what we want to do and make that decision and move forward. And I'm going to come back on your show for sure and tell the people a lot of the stuff that they don't know personally that I want to put out there. The grill talk. We're gonna talk about all this stuff, man. So we're gonna keep it real. I love this program, and we're gonna help build up this platform and program because I love the disposition of you brothers, and I'm excited, and I can't wait. So our people have to stand up, just decide to make a change, make a difference. Treat your woman right, brothers. Like seriously, brothers, treat your women correctly, and women treat your king, your man right. Get back to really loving and trusting each other. It's going to take some time, but we really have to do that because that's how we're going to raise our nation. And we got
white power.
right. So
Soon you will see the power of the white man.
Hold on now.
that's
Come
fine.
in with some respect or don't come in here at all, man.
It's the white
Let
man's
him go.
internet.
Let him go for a second.
The white man allows y'all to be on here.
He's a black guy.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Hey, check it out, man. First off, I want to say It's the white man that keeps y'all running.
G'day, you know what to do.
Hold
White
on.
power. Hell Hitler. Fried chicken, watermelon, grape soda.
Love fried chicken and watermelon. That's true.
All righty. We got two trolls in the building. All right.
Yeah, we
Pick
do.
up.
Yeah, man. That's what's up, man. But no, man. But I agree with you, email and hey, like I said, man. Shout out to give me contact information, brother. We forgot.
Yeah, so right now, I mean, the Facebook is the only thing that I'm kind of running, but like I said, January 21st, go to my Facebook, Bashir Abdul Haq, Bashir Abdul Haq. You know, if you're friends with these brothers, they friends with me, so you could. It's not hard to find me. You already know where to find me at, but stay tuned on there because we're gonna drop the Instagram. I'm gonna give y'all a lot of special things coming up. You know, with some beautiful interviews, some insight on a lot of stuff. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy. This year, you guys gonna see, this year is gonna be a crazy year for us in a good way. In a good way. So brothers, I appreciate it. Hit up Facebook, Bashir Abdul Haq. And
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How's it going, brother?
I know it's going well. Who is this?
This is the one and only Michael Myers.
Michael Myers. All right.
Why are you all not on my farm picking cotton like you should be?
Yo,
off the
show
internet.
some respect, you fucking. Show some respect.
Let's go.
Well, no, I'm actually starting to enjoy this now.
Yo, show some
We on the
respect.
farm picking cotton no more because we putting the farm together for y'all. We finna change the narrative. So y'all get ready to pick cotton. I mean,
Yo, show some
I
respect.
hope you got the suntan lotion.
What do you think? You're
But
Karate
we
Kid
gonna
with
go and
that,
get rid of
with that
y'all
head?
right
What do you
quick.
got around your head?
Show some respect, you KKK member. Show some
Hey.
respect.
Hey. First of all, we gonna keep the show the way what it's intended for. This show is about brother Imam Bashir. It's not about if you ain't bringing nothing to the table or edifying the chat.
What are you
Then
all,
don't
you
even.
all prisoners?
So if you
Getting
ain't bringing
converted
nothing
to
to the
Islam
table,
like idiots?
if you're not bringing nothing to the table, then you can just dismiss yourself at this point.
All
We're not even
religions
gonna entertain.
bullshit.
He brought up.
You should know that.
Okay.
Hey, brother Bashir. I have a question for you.
Hold on, real quick. The guy came on and he said, why are you not in the field planting my food?
Yeah.
Under the auspices that he's a white man. Under the auspices. Could be, could not be, right? Whatever.
Oh, I certainly am.
Say black people, okay, let's just say black people. When a white man like that asks you to garden for him, you should tell him you will be proud to do so. In fact, I would be proud to volunteer about 2 to 3 people to come farm your land. Brother Bashir, you out your damn mind. What are you talking about right now? Well, because the white man taught us a good lesson about what you can do with food. He taught us a good lesson as it pertains to what they did to us with food. Do you understand what I'm saying? Well, I gotta keep talking. Let those with ears hear. You understand? So I tell you, revolutionaries, there's a ringing they doing on purpose. There's a ringing, brother.
Yeah, I know.
But you can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
So I'm telling my people, for those that can hear, is yes. Go send a couple of volunteers to cook them some food, grow some food. Because if you look at what they have taught us on cultivating food, they have shown us that the greatest weapon that you could use to destroy a people is through their food. So feed the white man daily. When you're in your restaurant, feed them deli.
Hold on, I mean, do y'all still see them? Hold on, I'm not trying, but do y'all still see them?
Hey, brother, I just came on to ask a question.
Okay, go ahead with your
Mike.
question. Be respectful.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
My question is that is brother Bashir a member of the Nation of Islam?
No.
No.
Those are my brothers. I'm not an official member, but no, sir.
But do you follow their teachings?
And now poetry by Gary.
Kick them out, man.
Yeah.
That's what I've been kicking them out. They not leaving. Kicking them out.
Hey man, that's not cool. That is not cool. And I'm just coming on here because I want to say, Stein, I found you, and you over here bringing fraud ass to these brothers' channel, bothering them when you got a black wife. So what you talking about up here acting stupid? And my brothers, I just want to say, I found you.
So
My brothers, I don't mean to offend you guys. I just came out here to call out this fraud white man right here, this bald guy. Can you guys hear me?
We hear you.
all right, so look, I'm gonna leave with this. But anyway, you know, so when the white man asks you to feed him, to go ahead and feed him. You know, do your thing, because food, you are what you eat.
Tenfold. And with
That was crazy, man. I had to go dig in deep to get them out the room, man. I was like, what the world is going on here?
that's cool. But hey,
But the haters are watching. It's all good. We love y'all too.
it's all good.
I apologize, brother. Man, it's your show. You know, it happens sometimes. But this ain't the platform for that. So they can take that hate on somewhere else, man. We don't get down like that. They don't like what's being said. Move on to the next channel. You know, that's what.
Well, we thought the people were gonna actually ask some real questions, bring something real to the table. That's okay.
I did. It was the other one that was, you know, playing a little too much, but no worries, brother. We definitely gonna come on the show. I love the platform because I love you guys' disposition, and you know, we're gonna have to do it again. You got my contact, brother. We're gonna have to build. Go and you guys go hit Brother Bashir Abdul Haq on Facebook. You know, make that friend request because of the things that's gonna happen in the future. After next week, it's just gonna be an explosion after explosion, you know, and hopefully we can be able to help myself, my family, as well as my brother and sister, and you know, a few other people on the way before, because our time is limited. You know, I'm not gonna be here long.
Hello, can I place an order, please? Yeah, before delivery. Could I get 2 chicken wings, 3 watermelons, and cool soda? Hello?
We gonna see you by yourself.
All
Hello?
right, are you cooking it yourself?
All right, bro.
Hold on. Let's get. Let me eject this dude. Man, this is crazy. It's the first time this ever happened.
All right.
Like trolls. Hey, We in here.
Mm-hmm.
They might well get ready. We ain't going nowhere.
You're doing a good job.
Hey, because we talking about building. We ain't talking about no foolishness.
Wow, this is wild.
So, but it's all good. Well, go on, Bashir, man. We're going to get up out of here, man. That way you can go do what you got to do before these trolls try to fill the room up or something.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all take it. I appreciate the family. This is our show. Shout out to TMHCTV all day. And shout out to the family. Love you. Wife, love you. Thank you for holding me down. D, thank you for holding me down, brother. All of y'all. Peace to the family. Shalom, Hotep, Salam Alaikum, Black Power, all that good stuff. More is love. Hey, we family. All right, talk to y'all later, brother. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.